Hello and welcome. This is Steve from Whiskey&Red Design. In this video, I'll show you how to create, edit, and format your blog posts, and I'll also cover how to turn that blog post into a template for use on future posts. So to jump right in, what we're going to do is create a blog post that looks very similar to this. And I'm going to go through how to set your featured image, how to use your different headings, how to use different types of lists, and so on. So what we'll do here is start with our dashboard. You can access your posts here on the left-hand side, and right up on top you can add a new post. Once our new post loads here, first thing that we want to do is give that post a title. Now I highly recommend that you create your posts on a word processor to make sure that you're checking for spelling and grammar, and it gives you the opportunity to really sit and get creative and make sure that you have a full, complete blog post before you start adding it into WordPress. So we'll go ahead and just give ourselves a title here, blog post test. Perfect. Now it's going to automatically generate our URL just like it does for our products and our portfolio pages. What I like to do here is I like to start with the stuff that is outside of actual content on the page so that I just don't forget it in the long run. On the right hand side here, if you remember my reverse U shape from the other videos, I'm going to start on the right hand side, I'm going to work my way down and then back up on the left hand side. So I go through, I pick my category first. We'll just use a featured category here. If you want to add a new category, it's really as simple as just click the button here, new category, and hit enter, or this add new category button, and it will generate that category for you. Tags are here. You just input your tags here for whatever you want to tag up your post. And then our featured image box here, which is very, very important and often gets forgotten by me. So you click the featured post image for your post link there, and we add our featured image. Perfect. Now we work our way back up on the left-hand side. Now for a blog post, there's not a whole lot going on down here like there are with products. Most of this stuff, generally speaking, we're not using to create the post that we are using for this example, but this is where you can set your header images and have different options here for the color and transparency of that header. We're not using it for the purposes of this video. So then back up on the left-hand side, we have our normal WordPress box here. Now Salient adds Visual Composer, which gives us a lot more options with our blog posts. So what I'm going to do to turn it on is click this page builder button in the upper left-hand corner. I'll get this nice little interface where I can add an element. Now what I like to do is I just like to start with a row, and then I like to get nice and fancy and add another row inside of a row. That way, if I want to get interesting and start creating various columns and things throughout my posts or images in different places, it gives me a lot more freedom on where I'm placing my content. So like I said, I recommend that you go ahead and create all of your content externally on a word processor, and that's exactly what I did. So what I'm going to go ahead is copy and paste my content directly here into our nice little WordPress word processor. So as we scroll up here, nothing's formatted. Everything is just coming straight in from a word processor. The first thing we want to do here is to start adding some headings in order to create some formatting on our blog post. What this is going to look like is just like an outline, where we start with our heading 1 at the top of the page. Now that's going to be automatically created by our blog title. So whatever we titled it, this is going to be our H1 tag. We don't want to use more than one H1 on any page on our website. So our H1 is taken care of. That's going to be the whole purpose behind the post. Then we can start breaking down scannability for content into our H2s, 3s, 4s, and so on. We can jump right into using our heading 2, and then we see here how it just breaks down into our corresponding headings. If we stay within those content headings and we want to create a new section, that's how we do that. So if we go back to our post here, what we have is no formatting so far. So what I'll start with is an H2. Like I said, we already have an H1, so we'll start with the H2. So our first scannable area here is going to be our H2. Now our next heading, we're going to fall under the same section. We're going to stay on the same topic here. So I'll go ahead and jump to an H3. Now our next section here is going to also be a heading 3. It still is underneath our previous heading 2, but we don't want to subcategorize it under our last heading that we just created. So we'll go ahead and also make this an H3. Now as we go down, we do have a subcategory underneath this heading. So I'll go ahead and highlight this and I'll make this an H4. So that's the breakdown on how to use our headings. Again, just stick to that outline and it's pretty straightforward. Everything else is just considered body text or paragraph text. Now we'll take another pass here through the content. Now that we're nice and formatted, we'll go ahead and add our accented categories here and bold some things, italicize some things, and add some lists. So as we go through our content here, we can find some things that would be really nice to add some bold and maybe even some italicized text here. So as you can see, I'm using the toolbar right up on top here, and there's some various options just like any other word processor would have. The one thing that's unique to WordPress's word processor here is the ability to add links. Very straightforward here. If I highlight something that I'd like to make a link, I can click this little chain icon and I can open up this menu here. Now I can type in the URL here or I can click this link options button and it'll give us a couple more options, a little bit straightforward. So you can go ahead and type in a link that you would want to use here. So I'll copy and paste one. So you can go ahead and do something like that, or you can actually, if you're linking internally, use this search box here and this list of pages, posts, and portfolios to go ahead and find exactly what you want to link internally. And there you go. So the other option here is to open up in a new tab. General rule of thumb here is if you're going outside of your site, open it up in a new tab. If you're staying internal to your site, which we are here, I'm going to go ahead and just have it open up in the same window. So go ahead and click add link and we'll add our link in here. Now we'll continue on here, adding some bolds to some lines here to match our formatting from our previous posts. Perfect. Now we get to the section that we want to make a list. We have two options here in WordPress. We can create a bulleted list. It's also known as an unordered list, or a numbered list, which is an ordered list. So here I'm going to want to make a numbered list. So all I do is click to the left of where I want to start my list from. I can click that button right there, and I can go through and start adding my bullet points or my numbered list here. Perfect. Now as we go through, I just want to take a look, and it looks like we finished our formatting. So I'll go ahead and click Save Changes down on the bottom, and I can go ahead and preview our current post. Now if I use the Save Draft function here, which is highly preferable, it's the reason I highly recommend that you create your post in another word processor. If you already have people that have commented and subscribed to your blog, as soon as you hit that publish button, they're generally notified by email that you've posted a new post. So we want to be very careful that we avoid that publish button and we just work in draft mode until we're ready for the world to see our post. So I'll just save my post and then let's take a look at this preview here. So we have our title here right up on top, automatically generated. As we go down, our featured image is filling this post. And then we have our H2, H3, and the rest of our formatting to follow. So fairly straightforward. Now the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is to create another row in order to add a signature or a call to action at the bottom of a post. So if we scroll down below the section that we just created and I click this plus button, I can add another row, and again I just really like to add the row within a row. Now if I click a text block here, I can go ahead and just create something, and I'll just start with something simple. I'll just go ahead and put my name and the business name. So I'll go ahead and just put the whiskey and if I can spell. And I want to go ahead and just make this a link. Perfect. So we have our link. I'll go ahead and save that. And I like to just add a little bit of color here. So if we want to add an image, I can just click the plus button here and I can just type in the search box to make it easy on me, image, and I'm looking for single image. I can add an image here, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a little logo here down at the bottom of the post. And I'll go ahead and just keep that at left alignment. And I don't want to do any animations, so I'll just switch that to none and click save. So if I preview this now, we have our main content up on top and we have our little sign off call to action down here on the bottom. Now, of course, this is pretty quick formatting, so when you create a call to action, you generally want it to be the same to replicate across all of your posts, so probably don't want to format it that quickly. And then I'll go ahead and save our draft. Now, if I was ready to go ahead and publish this post and for the world to see it, I'd go ahead and select that publish button. But for our purposes here, we are complete with our post creation. Now what I want to show you is how to create this as a template. Now, as we just created our call to action, that's generally why we want to create a template. We can carry forward that formatting when we do create a new post so that we don't have to repeat our formatting and our call to action every time we make a post. So this is very, very simple with Salient and Visual Composer. All you're going to do here is in the left-hand corner is select this template button. And then all we have to do is give our template a name, so blog post 1, and then click Save Template. Now if I add a new blog post, we can see how our template's going to function. What our template does is just bring in our Visual Composer content. So it will not bring in our category, any of our tags, our featured image, etc. But it will bring in, I'll go ahead and give us a title here, blog post 2, and click our page builder button. Then we reveal our template menu here, and all we do here is just click our blog post 1. Now, depending on how big the post is, sometimes it takes a few seconds. But as you see here, we imported our rows, our main content of our blog post, and then also our call to action down here at the bottom. So that's it. It's very, very straightforward, creating a blog post and how to create a template. If you found this video to be valuable, please feel free to add a comment below or check out our other WordPress tutorials in the Whiskey and Red channel. Thanks for stopping by.